going on with the YouTube fight fans all over the world? It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it. Real Talk Boxing. It is a privilege and honor and a major blessing to be back with you beautiful people yet again. WBC president says that the winner of Jojo Diaz versus Ryan Garcia becomes Devin Haney's mandatory. And should they elect not to fight Devin Haney, their mandatory, then they will be stripped of the WBC interim title and possibly taken out of the top 15 ranking. Here's my thoughts on that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. First off, they were both at one time the mandatory. They elected not to fight Devin Haney. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I understand why. Now, some time back, I used to think that Ryan Garcia was afraid of Devin Haney. And I've stated it in more than one video. But now I'm just starting to understand more so the business side of boxing, which is the dark side of boxing. The business side of boxing, I believe, is what's taking the sport down. But I'm actually getting off subject a little bit, but I'm actually surprised that WBC is actually making their fighters do something, you know, like fight their mandatory, because y'all know how I feel about the WBC. But back on track, Ryan, I don't think, is afraid of Devin Haney. And should Ryan win this fight against Jojo Diaz, I don't think he'll fight Devin. I think Jojo Diaz would if he should beat Ryan Garcia. And here's why. Calm down, Ryan Garcia fans. Y'all calm down. I know how y'all like to come at me. I'm going to put that cross up on you. The reason why I don't think Ryan Garcia will fight Devin Haney is because, first off, Ryan wouldn't care if he got stripped of the interim title. First of all, it's not the real WBC. It's an interim title, so he wouldn't care. If Ryan got taken out of the top 15, he wouldn't care. You know why? Because he's always going to generate money in whoever he fights. The following, right? The popularity, the pretty face. It is what it is. And a fight between him and Devin Haney can marinate a year or two and make that much more money, even though it would be a mega event, a mega fight. Should they fight, you know, after this fight, if he wins against Jojo Diaz, it could make even more money if they just marinate a little bit. So I don't think that Ryan Garcia is afraid. I just think he's looking at that light at the end of the tunnel, because Ryan Garcia can generate money fighting a nobody, 2 or 3 more nobodies, and then get to the huge bag. So that's my take on Ryan Garcia and why I think he would not fight Devin Haney should he beat Jojo Diaz. Now, I think Jojo Diaz would take the Devin Haney fight because Jojo Diaz is not as big as a name as Ryan Garcia. Not many people know who Jojo Diaz is. The popularity, the social media, not many people know who Jojo Diaz is. You know what I'm saying? So when you put him up against Ryan Garcia in revenue and fights, like if Jojo Diaz fights a nobody, he won't get near as much as Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia is nationally, known. A lot of people know him. You know what I'm saying? He's brought a lot of new faces to boxing who's not necessarily boxing fans. You know, they're just fans of Ryan Garcia, see him on Instagram or wherever his platform is, and they jump on it. You know, even like these young girls who just crazy about him. A lot of these young girls who's crazy about Ryan Garcia don't know the first thing about boxing, but they've been brought over to it and probably taking a liking to the sport because of Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Jake Paul. You know, I don't mean to bring Jake into this conversation, but it's the same thing. They bring new fans to the sport. It is what it is. But if Jojo Diaz beats Ryan Garcia, I do see him facing Devin Haney. And just like Ryan, I don't think Jojo's afraid of Devin Haney. I don't think that they'll have to worry about getting knocked out. Devin doesn't carry that type of power. but he's a very, very slick boxer. You know, a lot of people say I give Devin too much credit. I just give credit what credit's due. He's very, very slick. Is he unbeatable? No. I got to be honest with you. What was my man's name? Who was the guy he fought last? I hate when I do this. I have brain farts, y'all. Who rocked him, man. Who rocked him and sent him on his way to his corner. What was my man's name? Leonardes. And I think that Leonardes took his foot off the gas pedal, man. I think that he may have been paid off to let, you know, Haney survive that fight. That's just my honest assessment and what I saw. I could be wrong, but it's just my humble opinion. So I'm not giving him way too much credit. You know what I'm saying? He's just a slick boxer. You know, I think that will give anybody fits. But either way it goes, you know, WBC, I just want to say to you guys, I'm very surprised that you're making someone have a consequence for not fighting their mandatory. But, you know, it is what it is. People have, you know, their views and opinions on, you know, certain organizations. I do too. So, you know, people might not agree with me about how I feel about WBC, but, you know, that's your prerogative also. But I would like to see the winner fight Devin Haney, in my honest opinion. I would. But, again, if Ryan Garcia wins, I don't think he'll fight Devin Haney. I don't. And it's not because he's afraid. It's all about the business side, the money, the revenue. And he can make tons of money fighting fighters between that fight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's for both fighters, Diaz and Garcia, it's a dangerous fight to fight Devin Haney. Not saying that they will go in and just lose. But when you're in there against a crafty, very, very fast, slick boxer, you always stand a chance of losing. Point blank, period. And I think even if Ryan Garcia takes a loss, it's not going to do much to, you know, put a dark cloud over his career. People love him, man. They love him. And he's just too nationally known for people to just drop him off like that. You know what I'm saying? But Jojo Diaz, no one hardly knows him. And a loss or two will probably ruin his career. So, I mean, that's just my opinion on it. Just caught wind of it this morning. Figured I'd make a video on it, but I want to know what you think. So comment down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all. Fear none. God bless. Till the next time, Real Talk Boxing. I'm up, and I'm out of here, baby.